Welcome to Toffee TV. It is the player ratings for Everton 1, Watford 0. Now, I did the video yesterday outside the game. Didn't realise how windy it was when I'd done the video, and quite a lot of wind was picked up on the video. Quite appropriate with Gerard Deulofeu playing for Watford. So I'm going to do the video again so you can hear me completely in less glamorous surroundings, of course. But at the end of the day, it's about the ratings rather than anything else. So Jordan Pickford, I give him an 8. Made one really top draw save on Troy Digne to keep the score 1-0, to keep us with a clean sheet. And, you know, a save like that is so pivotal in a game like this, where, you know, Everton are just trying to find their feet at the moment. Obviously, got a few injury problems, trying to get new players integrated into the side. So the clean sheets are the things that maybe for the next couple of weeks or next few, you know, till that international window, there's such a big thing going forward. And we've been brilliant at the back recently. So I've given him an 8. Seamus Coleman, I'll give a 7. Thought, obviously played at right back and then moved over to left back towards the end of the game. Very steady. Wasn't his best game going forward. Except when he went to left back and had a wild shot. But, you know, this is what you get from Seamus Coleman. This is what you've always got from Seamus Coleman. 7 out of 10 performances week in and week out. As I said, going forward might have been because of Richarlison, because Richarlison was quite tired, never quite on it for the entire game. So I've given him a 7 out of 10. Digne, given him an 8. Obviously, he had to go off with an injury towards the end, and hopefully that's not too serious. I think he went to the bench rather than going down the tunnel. So hopefully that indicates that it's not too bad, and it was just maybe like a dead leg or something. I really hope. His ball for Bernard was absolutely fantastic. It really was. Defended well all day. Got some good crosses into the box, but it was that ball to Bernard to set up the goal. Was absolutely phenomenal. So I've given him an 8 out of 10. And again, that's what you get out of Dean, isn't it? Is those performances week in and week out, and that little bit of magic that can unlock a defence, even though he's a left back. So he gets an 8. In the middle, Michael Keane, I've given an 8 as well. I thought he was brilliant, and you know, he's just gone up and up and up and up. And it's, you know, someone made a good point to me on Twitter. It's no coincidence that the people who play next to him are getting better as well, because they're playing with Michael Keane, and Michael Keane's a very steady influence in this side. He's become a quiet leader, I think. And I muted this about a year ago because I had my doubts about Michael Keane, and I thought, well, maybe, you know, giving him the captain armband could propel him forward. But I think what propelled him forward last season was him becoming the senior centre back, basically overnight. Once Phil Jagielka went out to the side, he became, you know, Everton's established centre-back. And I think he took that on, had a pretty injury-free season. A couple of mistakes here or there, of course, every player will. And he started the season in the same guys. And I think I think fans have confidence in him now, and I think that becomes a big thing. Once you go the match and you stop worrying about some particular issues on the pitch. I remember when we had the goalkeeper situation and we were worrying from one week to the next and holding your breath. I think it was a little bit like that with Michael Keane at times. And even last season, when obviously early on we were adjusting to the manager's style, certainly of defending set pieces. But, you know, once they got a grip of that, you know, Michael Keane's just gone on and on and on. So he was fantastic. I give him an 8. And next to him, Yerry Mina, I give him a 9. I thought Yerry Mina was absolutely outstanding in this game. Took his cue from Michael Keane. But it was little things that early on in the first half, they got a corner in the Gladys Street and it got whipped in him. And, you know, Yerry Mina made sure he got there ahead of everybody else. He made sure he got his head on it. And he was like that all day. He made sure he got his head on everything. And, you know, it was a battle towards the end as well. They just went long ball, a lot of flick-ons from Troy Digne trying to get that man behind us. And he won almost everything in the air. He was brilliant. And when he doesn't win in the air, he's not too bad on the floor either. The only little thing was you know, we all had our hearts in our mouths when Gerard Deulofeu tumbled over in the Gladys seat. I'm in the Gladys seat, and everyone around me thought it was a penalty. I thought it was a penalty at the time. The referee gave a corner, and then it was checked by the VAR. And I as soon as he said it was getting checked by the VAR, I just thought it's a penalty, and it wasn't. And you know, when Deulofeu went down, Mina straight away was, you know, having a go at him, saying you dived. I think that's sometimes what we miss as fans, is that the game is so fast. I thought that was a really good indication, by the way, of how to use VAR. I really did, because in another ref didn't give it, but both ways it worked really well. It got checked, and it wasn't given, and the ref was ultimately right as well. So all round, I thought that incident was really good. But no, I thought he was outstanding yesterday, and I think what I've just been talking about Michael Keane, I think a lot of people are starting to think, well, I know it's only 2 games into the season, but obviously people getting confidence in Yerry Mina, everyone in the team having confidence in him, the manager having confidence in him. Because don't forget, this player was bought to play with Michael Keane. I mean, when Yerry Mina come in, it was, if anyone was thinking about the team losing a player in the team, it would have been Michael Keane. But Michael Keane being the established player and Yerry Mina coming in, you know, people say it can't work, but so far they've done okay, 2 clean sheets. So pretty happy with that. Moving into midfield, Gbamin, I have given a 6. Again, a bit of a struggle for him at times. He got caught on the ball a couple of times. But what he did do, I thought, was he simplified his game. I'm sure there's a lot more to his game. You know, I seen towards the end, towards the very, very end, when we were just trying to keep the ball, you could see him get the ball, and he had like a nice little skill set to get away from players. And I think there's a player there. It's just that he's got to get up to speed, and he's got to get the fitness. And you see this a lot of the players who come into the Premier League. A lot of players, it doesn't happen straight away. You know, he's only a young lad. He's been playing in Germany. It's going to take him a while, even just every day in training. The more training he does with players at the higher tempo that the manager demands in training, the more he'll get used to having to get that ball. And you know, you look at someone like Gylfi Sigurdsson. One of the little things he does, I notice all the time, is that when someone plays a ball into him, he has that touch where it almost bounces off his foot to give him that yard to get away from his marker. Little things like that I'll come on for Gbamin. I do feel like it's going to take a little bit of a while to get used to playing without Garner in the middle of the park. But we've just got to get through as many games as we can till that. It's going to take time when you buy new players to play in positions. It takes time for them to integrate into the team, unless it's the absolute high-end player. So I've given him a 6. There's a lot more to come from that kid, I'm sure. He's not, to me, he doesn't look like someone who looks like they're caught in the headlights of the game. It just looks like someone who's going to need time to settle. So I've given him a 6. Gomez, next one, I've given a 7. Still looks like he was feeling the after effects of that injury. Probably playing through painkillers, whatever. But very assured, you know, so important that he plays our game in the games. He gets the ball, and he steadies things. He calms things down. He goes hunting for the ball. He's got that. His physical stature really allows him to get round the pitch quickly at times. And you know, he is a player. When you think about how quickly he came into the Premier League and how he settled into the Premier League, you know, that shows how good a player he is. And I thought he was really good yesterday. In just keeping it neat and tidy, and just, he's an outball as well. When people need a pass, you know, if they give it to Gomez, he'll keep the ball and then move it on. Can't say that about every player. So I've given him a 7. Gylfi Sigurdsson, I've given a 6. Again, not getting on the ball enough. So it was funny because towards the end, when it was like 93 minutes or whatever, when he was in the corner, and you see with the ball at his feet, his little bag of tricks, he's so ridiculously skillful. But the problem is that, and I don't put the blame solely on him for this, is that when games are like that, when that game yesterday, a lot of it was just long ball. You could see towards the end a lot of tired players. They were going long ball to get the goal. The game just bypasses him, and I'm not saying that's his fault at times. At times, though, he does. You know, if he doesn't get the ball, I see him yesterday throwing his arms up, you know, pointing fingers, having a go at a couple of people. But he needs to get the ball more, and I think once we get into a groove a little bit more, it'll be like the end of last season, where once everyone knows what everyone's job is, Gylfi Sigurdsson then becomes a really big part of the team. But that doesn't happen straight away. And as I said, a lot of games can bypass Gylfi Sigurdsson. You can see yesterday with his touch at times just wasn't there, and that'll take a little bit of time to settle down. And I know people can say they should be ready now. Well, maybe they should be ready now, but the point is they're not. And that's not just one player, that's quite a few players. And at every club, every game in the Premier League at the moment, and will be for the next 4, 5, 6, opening games, they're just bitty affairs. The football, apart from the top 2, 3, doesn't really get going until a few weeks into the season. So for those kind of players, I think they struggle in that time. Bernard, I've given 8 for his goal. Brilliant goal, brilliant take, cut inside, good finish. Nice to see him doing that, and the match winner. He was an outball as well. Every time you can get the ball to him, he runs at defences and commits players. Very unlucky towards the end. He had a great run cut in towards the Gladys Street. Just, I don't know, maybe you want him to lay it off there or get a shot off earlier, but nearly did it again. But works hard, and for people who say, well, what does he do? I think yesterday was showing you what he can do. If he does that, 5, 6, 7 times a season, then he's worth his weight in gold, because that's exactly what you need. You need goals from that position. So great to see him get a goal yesterday. That was a really nice goal as well. So I've give him an 8. Richarlison, I've give a 6. I thought he worked really hard, but I mean, certainly at the beginning of the second half, everything was just bouncing off him. I mean, he's trying to run through a brick wall, but with no energy at all. And everything he tried to do, nothing came off. Missed a really good header to make it 2-0 as well, just before he went off, which was really unfortunate. But I'm not having a go at the lads. The lads, come back from the Copa America after 2 weeks break, had 1 pre-season game, and then back in for the first 2 games of the season. Undoubtedly one of our most important players, and has to play games. The manager will have to, take it all into account week by week. But just wasn't his day yesterday. And but as I said, he works really hard. There's no lack of that. It's just that if you're not fit or if you're tired, you could see it mentally with him. Things just not coming off. So I've given him a 6. Dominic Calvert-Lewin, I've given a 6 as well. Disappointing day for Dom. Never, again, chances wise, never really made anything happen. Ball bounced off him a couple of times, but then at other times some really nice touches to hold the ball up. I think he's another one. He's like Gylfi Sigurdsson, that at the moment it's all about just the bread and butter, and he knows he's under pressure, and I think maybe as a young lad that could weigh on him as well. But he doesn't go hiding, he doesn't shy away. But as the weeks go on, if he's in the team, those level of performances are going to have to go up significantly, because I think there's a lad on the bench there who I think showed his little cameo that he could be a very important player for Everton. But also when Keane came on, for the first 5 or 6 minutes, the ball wasn't sticking to him and really needed it. So it was an interesting one. I just wonder whether he would have made that change if Digne would have gone down earlier. We'll never know. Talking about the subs, Walcott, come on for Richarlison, I'll give him a 6. Every time he did something good, he followed it up by doing something poor. Like he got the beating of the left back, skipped around him, and then put an absolutely horrendous crossing over everyone, when really what he should have just done is fizzed it into the penalty spot or the near post, and looked for one of our forwards to be in there. And that's essentially the story of Theo Walcott at Everton, really, isn't it? So I've given him a 6. Holgate come in at right back, give him a 7. Couple of little minor mistakes, not just kicking the ball away, trying to be too clever, but defensively did okay when we needed it most. Coming into a game at that point when they're just playing long balls over the top, it's he settled in quite quickly, and he defended well. And Keane, who come on initially and looked a little bit all over the place, but once he sort of started getting in the battle, you can see the way he loves to get his body between him and the defender, and then he wants to do that spin. You know, a couple little moments, couple little runs when they were committing a lot of men. We had a chance to break. There was one where he broke and obviously smashed it over. I think a little bit more composure there. He had a bit more time than he thought he did. He could have laid someone like Walcott in, or just took a little bit more care with the shot. But listen, the 19-year-old kid making his debut at home, he just put his foot through it, and you know, in his head that's going top corner and he's won the game and all the rest of it. But put it wide. But there's just a couple of moments there that I was, you know, fans are really going to like him, going to get excited by him. So there you have it. There, my player ratings for this week. It's still windy outside, I can hear it. I hope it hasn't come into this video. It's still a bit windy outside. There you go. Thanks for watching. I'll see you later.